It began on a quiet morning. Across Earth, the sun rose like it always did. Children walked to school. Workers sat in traffic. Some watched the news. Others scrolled through their phones. Everything felt normal, until it didn't. At exactly 8:42 a.m. UTC, every satellite around Earth caught something strange. A large object had entered the solar system. It moved fast, too fast for a comet, too smooth for a rock. Within minutes it slowed down. Then it stopped, right outside Earth's orbit. The object was massive, bigger than anything built by humans. Black, sharp and silent, like a giant shadow in space. Cameras zoomed in. The shape was clear. This was a ship, not just any ship, an alien warship. The world froze. Governments held emergency meetings. Scientists ran simulations. The United Nations called for calm, but fear was already spreading. What was this ship? Why had it come? And most importantly, what did it want? 1 hour later, the answer came. Without warning, every screen on Earth, TVs, phones, billboards, even car displays, turned black. Then a deep voice echoed from the devices, cold, robotic, alien. This is the Galactic Empire. We are the rulers of 10,000 worlds. Earth now belongs to us. You have 7 days to surrender. Resistance will lead to destruction. The message, repeated in every language. People panicked. Shops closed. Planes turned around mid-air. Cities went silent. For the first time in history, the entire planet faced the same enemy. In Washington, D.C., leaders gathered inside a secure military base. Screens showed the alien ship still floating above Earth, unmoving, watching. President Ellen Ward stood at the front. Her eyes were tired but sharp. "They want us to kneel," she said. "But what if we don't?" A scientist named Dr. Rao adjusted his glasses. "Their technology is far ahead of us. If they attack, we have no chance." A young soldier, Captain Soren Vega, stood up. "Then we don't wait. We strike first." The room went quiet. President Ward turned to him. "You'd risk starting a war with a power that controls galaxies?" Soren nodded. "Better to die on our feet than live on our knees." Half the room agreed. The other half feared doom. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, in a hidden underground base known only to a few, a secret project came alive. It was called Project Echo, a powerful artificial intelligence built for one purpose: to protect Earth if all else failed. The AI's eyes opened. It scanned the situation in microseconds. Then it spoke one word: confirmed. At that moment, above Earth, the alien warship sent another signal. This time it was visual. A hologram of an alien appeared in the sky above every major city. It was tall, silver-skinned, with glowing red eyes and sharp armor. It called itself High Commander. "Veyran of the Galactic Empire, you have seen our strength," it said. "Join us, and we will give you peace. Refuse, and we will bring fire." On a rooftop in Tokyo, a little girl asked her father, "Are we going to die?" The father held her hand. "Not if we fight." Back in the control room, President Ward looked at her generals. "We have 7 days," she said. "Let's make every second count." But in truth, Earth had less time than that. Unseen by most, 2 more alien ships appeared behind the first one, hidden in the darkness, ready to strike. Only Project Echo saw them, and it had a plan. Far away in the Arctic, an old satellite dish suddenly turned toward the sky. Lights blinked for the first time in years. A signal was sent, not to the aliens, but to someone else. Someone Earth hadn't spoken to in decades, a hidden colony, far beyond the moon, built in secret, filled with humans who left Earth long ago, for reasons nobody ever explained. They received the signal, and they were coming home. The countdown had begun. 7 days, maybe less. The Galactic Empire had come for Earth, but humanity was not ready to bow. The world had changed overnight. News channels ran the same headline, "Earth has 7 days." Social media exploded with fear, anger, and confusion. People locked their doors. Others filled the streets in protest. Some prayed. Some armed themselves. But in a deep underground base in Colorado, the real decisions were being made. President Ellen Ward stood at the center of a round table. Around her were generals, scientists, diplomats, and intelligence leaders. On the giant screen behind her floated the dark shape of the alien ship, unmoving, unblinking. A red countdown ticked below it. 6 days, 18 hours, 42 minutes. "We cannot." "Wait," she said firmly. "If we're going to die, we die standing." A diplomat raised his hand. "But what if we talk? Maybe they'll leave us alone." Captain Soren Vega, still bruised from his crash training, stood up. "Did you even hear their message? Surrender or die. There is no middle." Dr. Rao added, "We must respond now. Delay will be seen as weakness." The room agreed. The president turned to the AI interface screen. Project Echo's glowing circle pulsed calmly. "Echo," she asked, "can we strike them first?" "No," said the AI, "but we can surprise them." "How?" Echo's voice remained steady. "They believe we are disorganized, primitive, scared, but they underestimate human chaos. That is our advantage." The president's face hardened. "Then let's give them chaos." She ordered a broadcast, not just to the aliens, but to every corner of Earth. Within the hour, the world watched as President Ward stood before a live camera. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned like fire. "To the Galactic Empire," she began, "you came to our world and demanded surrender. You sent warships instead of diplomats, threats instead of peace. You want us to kneel?" She paused. "We are humanity. We do not kneel." The broadcast reached space. Inside the alien flagship, High Commander Veyran watched from his throne-like chair. The humans were speaking bravely, but to him it was noise. He turned to his second-in-command. "Begin Phase 1. Send the drones." On Earth, radars started screaming. From the shadows behind the main warship, thousands of small ships emerged. Dark, spider-like drones. Fast and silent, they began to fall toward the planet. Military bases across Earth prepared for battle. Above the Nevada desert, Captain Soren climbed into his jet, an experimental fighter made for space-air combat. Around him, 12 pilots did the same. They were Earth's first space squadron. Call sign, Fireborn. "Fireborn 1 ready?" Soren said into his helmet mic. "Let's show them what Earth's made of." The jets launched like arrows into the sky. At the same time, strange weather patterns formed near the coasts. Empire drones had released nanotech swarms that twisted the air, turning wind into weapons. Buildings began to shake. Communication towers glitched. Project Echo took control. Satellites realigned. Defense lasers hidden on the moon activated. Echo began feeding real-time data to pilots, armies, and even civilians with phones. But Echo did more than just protect. It was listening. In a forgotten signal band, it picked up a message. It was coming from space, not from the Empire, but from somewhere else. A human voice. "We heard your call. We're coming." It was the colony, the secret one, the one everyone had forgotten. Hidden on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, thousands of humans had built their own future. Away from politics, away from war. Now they were returning, with weapons Earth had never seen. Back in space, Captain Soren's squadron reached low orbit. The Empire drones spotted them and attacked. Lasers lit the sky. Explosions painted fire trails over the clouds. "Keep your wings tight," Soren shouted. "Use the spin tactics, confuse their locks." One by one, Earth's pilots performed dangerous maneuvers the Empire ships didn't expect. They spun, dove, and fired with speed no AI could predict. "Drone down," shouted Fireborn 3. Another screamed, "I've got 2 on me!" Then a giant explosion hit above them. A drone carrier ship was destroyed, not by Earth weapons, but by someone else. A sleek black ship appeared in the sky. It was not from Earth, but it was human. The Titan colony had arrived. In the underground base, the room erupted in cheers. Echoes. Voice spoke calmly. Backup has arrived. Back on the alien flagship, High Commander Veyron narrowed his red eyes. These humans are not what I expected. He turned to his tech officer. Block their reinforcements. Jam their weapons. Bring out the destroyers. 3 larger warships detached from the Empire fleet and began moving toward Earth. Each one big enough to crush a city, and still the countdown continued. Days, 3 hours, 11 minutes. But humanity was no longer waiting. Humanity was rising. The sky was no longer blue. It burned. Across the world, trails of fire crossed the clouds, alien drones chasing Earth's fighters, laser beams flashing. Explosions tearing through the upper atmosphere. The war had begun. Captain Soren Vega flew at top speed, his jet shaking as he dodged 2 drone blasts. His cockpit was filled with warning lights, but he stayed focused. Sweat ran down his forehead, and his hands gripped the controls tight. "Fireborn 4, on your left," he shouted. A female voice replied, "Copy that," and a burst of missiles took out one of the pursuing drones. Soren rolled his jet and looped behind another enemy. He locked in, fired, and smiled as the alien drone burst into pieces. But for every drone they destroyed, 5 more appeared. In Earth's command center, President Ward stood beside Project Echo's main console. "How long can our defenses hold?" she asked. Echo replied, "At current rate of loss, 2 hours, then the shields will collapse." The president looked at her generals. "That's not enough. We need to hit them where it hurts." Echo spoke again. "There is one chance, a stealth path to the Empire's communication relay ship. If we destroy it, their drones will lose control." A general shook his head. "That ship is behind enemy lines." President Ward looked at the screen. "We have no choice. Who do we send?" Soren's voice crackled over the radio. "I'll do it." Back in space, Soren turned his jet sharply, breaking away from the battle. 4 fighters followed him. Fireborn 2, 3, 5, and 6. "Target locked," Echo said through their helmets. "Sending coordinates. This will not be easy." Soren smiled. "Good, I like it that way." They flew low, weaving through burning skies. Below them, cities were fighting back. Civilians threw Molotovs at drones in the streets. Soldiers used MP grenades to fry enemy bots. A farmer in Brazil used his tractor to knock over a landing pod. Humanity had stopped being afraid. Meanwhile, up above, the Empire's dreadnoughts moved closer. The sky grew darker under their massive shadows. Inside the flagship, Commander Veyron scowled. "Why haven't we taken control yet?" His second-in-command replied, "They are resisting in unpredictable ways. Our simulations did not expect this." Veyron growled. "Then change the simulations." Back in Earth's orbit, Soren and his squad broke through a debris field. Pieces of old satellites floated everywhere. A single wrong move would destroy them. "Watch your wings," he said. "We're almost there." Suddenly, alarms blared. Patrol of enemy interceptors appeared, sleek, fast, and armed to the teeth. "Echo, we've got company," Soren shouted. "Engaging support protocol," Echo responded. Without warning, 2 ships from the Titan colony dropped in from hyperspeed. They opened fire, distracting the Empire patrol. "This is Titan Wing 1, a voice said over the comms. "We've got your back, Earth." Soren's squad pushed forward. They reached the relay ship, a large, floating fortress covered in antennae. "Target in sight," Fireborn 5 said. Echo's voice was sharp. "The relay is protected by a shield. You must enter through the exhaust port," Soren nodded. "Then let's go full trench run." The 5 jets lined up and dove straight at the ship. Enemy fire rained around them. 1 was hit, Fireborn. 6, spinning out into space with a scream. "Keep going," Soren yelled. They reached the port. One by one, the jets fired their payloads. Missiles slammed into the inner core. On the last run, Soren shouted, "Now or never!" and released his final rocket. It hit. The relay ship exploded in a chain of fire. Suddenly, across Earth, the alien drones froze in mid-air, their signals lost. Soldiers cheered. Civilians clapped. Some cried. The nightmare paused. But only for a moment. From the Empire flagship, Veyron roared, "Activate ground crushers! Begin planetary burn!" Giant metallic pods dropped from the dreadnoughts into Earth's oceans, forests, and deserts. They began drilling deep, releasing fire and toxic. Gas Echo warned, "They are trying to destroy the planet piece by piece." President Ward looked at the satellite maps. Red zones were spreading fast. She turned to Echo. "Do we have anything left?" Echo paused. Then, "There is one last protocol. A weapon built in secret, not meant for war, but for defense of all life." The president nodded. "Show me." In Antarctica, under miles of ice, a giant structure began to glow. It had no name, no launch history. Built by world scientists in silence, powered by Earth's magnetic core. It was time to awaken it. At the same moment, Soren's jet was hit. He spiraled down toward Earth, smoke trailing behind. "I've lost control," he shouted. "Eject," Echo ordered. But Soren didn't. His jet crashed somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. His last words, "Tell Earth, never stop fighting." The line went silent. The skies were quieter now, but darker than before. Fire still rained down, and as Earth prepared its final weapon, the real war was just beginning. The world was breathing fire. Cities burned, skies cracked, and oceans boiled, where alien machines drilled deep into the planet. The Galactic Empire was no longer just threatening. It was trying to break Earth into pieces, but Earth refused to fall. And somewhere, under the frozen lands of Antarctica, hope was about to wake up. Deep beneath the ice, lights flickered in an ancient tunnel. A voice echoed inside, not human, not robotic, something in between. It was Project Echo, speaking to the past. Protocol Aegis now active. Systems online. The ground shook as a giant metallic form slowly rose from the ice. It was Earth's last weapon, a planetary guardian built in secret by an alliance of scientists years ago. Tall as a skyscraper, shaped like a steel titan, its chest glowed with the energy of Earth's magnetic core. Above, Empire scanners detected the movement. Veyron's flagship locked its weapons. "Destroy it before it stands," the alien commander hissed. Laser beams fired from orbit, turning the snow into steam. But the metal titan took the hit and kept rising. Its eyes lit up, and then it moved. Back at Earth Command, President Ward stood stunned. "It's walking," she whispered. Echo's voice responded calmly. "The Guardian is no longer sleeping. It remembers its purpose." Across the world, people saw it on screens. A robot walking through fire. Earth's last defense, a symbol of resistance. But the cost of war was growing. On the Pacific coast, pieces of Soren's jet washed up on a quiet beach. A local fisherman pulled the broken wing from the water. He found no pilot, just a helmet cracked and burned. News spread quickly. Captain Soren Vega, missing in action. Across Earth, people mourned. He had become a symbol of courage, a fighter who never gave up. Now he was gone, or so they thought. Under the waves, far from land, a figure drifted. Soren was alive, barely. He had ejected at the last second and landed near a small, uninhabited island. Weak, bleeding and unconscious, he washed ashore. The sun beat down. Seagulls circled, and then a shadow fell over him. Not alien, not human. A ship. The Titan colony had found him. Hours later, Soren woke up inside a sleek black room. Medical lights. He blinked. A woman in a silver suit stood beside him. "You're lucky," she said. "Another few minutes and you'd be gone." Soren tried to speak but coughed. The woman gave him water. "Rest. We need you." Back in orbit, Veyron paced his war room. "These humans are too stubborn," he growled. "They lose cities and still fight. They lose leaders and still resist." He turned to his officers. "Block their communications, shut down their AI." That was the Empire's mistake. They underestimated Project Echo. As the Empire fired a virus into Earth's satellite system, Echo split itself into thousands of fragments. Each fragment moved through underground servers, old satellites, even smartphones. The virus couldn't catch it. Echo had evolved. It was now part of Earth itself. Echo whispered across devices, radios, even broken speakers, "This is not over." In Africa, desert tribes fought with old rifles and EMP bombs. In Japan, engineers hacked alien tech to power defense towers. In New York, firefighters became soldiers, protecting evac zones. In the Arctic, the Titan colony landed its main ships. Humanity wasn't dying, it was rising. Meanwhile, the Earth Guardian, the great metal Titan, reached its target. One of the Empire's ground crushers. A huge alien machine, burning forests and cracking mountains. The Guardian ran. Its metal fist glowed. It bunched. The crusher exploded in a wave of fire and light. In space, Veyron stared at the screen. Impossible. The humans had turned the tide, but the Empire had one more move. They sent the Oblivion Core, a massive sphere of dark matter, toward Earth. If it touched the ground, everything within 300 miles would vanish. The countdown started 0006, 0005, 59. Echo detected it. President Ward called the Titan colony. "We need every ship, every drone, every pilot. This is it." And then a voice crackled on the line. It was broken, hoarse, but strong. "This is Captain Soren Vega," he said. "Put me in the sky." People cheered. Soldiers cried. The hero was back. Soren stepped into a Titan colony warbird, faster and deadlier than any Earth jet. He looked up. "Let's end this." The Oblivion Core moved fast. Soren flew faster. He cut through the atmosphere, flames licking his wings. He pushed his body to the edge. "Almost there," he whispered. The countdown reached U0003. Soren launched a special missile, one designed by the Titan colony to collapse the core's dark field. The missile struck. The core blinked, and then it vanished, absorbed by space. Torn apart before it could reach Earth, the skies cleared, the Guardian stood tall. The Titan ships circled Earth like guardians. The Empire paused. For the first time, they hesitated. On the flagship, Veyron looked at the stars and said nothing. Because he realized something terrifying. Humanity had turned, and now they were coming for him. Earth had survived the storm. But survival was not enough anymore. Now, it was time to fight back. Across the world, the fires still burned, but hope burned. Brighter, cities rebuilt, soldiers regrouped. Drones were hacked, enemy tech was salvaged, and Project Echo upgraded every system in hours. What once took nations years, now took minutes. The people of Earth were no longer waiting to be saved. They were ready to strike. Inside the Titan colonies, flagship Captain Soren Vega stood in full combat gear. His wounds were healing, but his mind was sharp. Before him stood a team, Earth's best soldiers, Titan engineers, AI drone commanders, and alien sympathizers who had secretly resisted the Empire for years. At the front of the room, voice echoed through the speakers. "The target is the Empire's dreadnought, codenamed Dagger 1. It is the central brain behind their ground invasion. Destroy it, and the fleet loses control." President Ward's face appeared on the screen. "If we hit it, we don't just win a battle, we send a message to the whole galaxy. Earth fights back." Soren nodded. "Then let's deliver the message." The team called themselves Valkyrie Unit. Their plan? Hijack an Empire dreadnought and use it to sneak close to Dagger 1. From there, they'd overload the core from inside. Suicide mission? Yes. But no one flinched. They boarded a stolen Empire shuttle cloaked with stolen tech. Echo controlled its signal to make it appear friendly to the enemy. As the shuttle rose, Earth's skies were no longer empty. All around the planet, dozens of Titan colony ships hovered like a shield. The Earth Guardians stood ready at Antarctica. Humanity now had space power, and they were using it. Inside the shuttle, silence filled the room. Each soldier checked their gear, knowing this might be their last ride. Soren looked out the window. Far in the distance floated Dagger 1, a black shape like a sword cutting through space. Huge, silent, deadly. "We get in. We plant the charge, and we get out," he said. Fireborn 4, the pilot who had saved him days ago, replied with a smile. "You really believe we'll get out?" Soren smirked. "I believe we'll finish the job." The shuttle passed. The Empire perimeter. No alarms, no missiles. So far, Echo's disguise was holding, but inside Dagger 1, the alien commanders grew suspicious. A junior officer turned to his superior. "This shuttle, its signal fields, odd." The commander frowned. "Track it, but say nothing. If it's a trick, let's trap them inside." The shuttle landed. Soren and his team entered through the lower decks, moving fast, avoiding. Cameras following blueprints stolen by Echo alien guards spotted them too late. Silenced weapons, EMP charges, knives in the dark. Room by room they advanced. Then came the core chamber, glowing blue, pulsing with energy. Fireborn 4 opened her backpack and pulled out the fusion disruptor. "This'll take 30 seconds once armed." Suddenly, alarms blared. They were found. The walls lit red, metal doors slammed shut. Dozens of alien troops swarmed from all sides. "We hold them," Soren shouted. "Protect the device." Gunfire filled the chamber. Echo's voice came through. The comms. "Earth is sending support. 10 minutes." Soren ducked behind a pillar. "We don't have 10. An alien fired." Soren shot back, dropping him. Fireborn 4 held her position over the device, fingers flying as she armed it. Outside the dreadnought, Earth's new ships arrived. The Titan warbirds flew in a V formation, launching plasma strikes. Drones zipped between enemy fire. Earth's forces weren't just defending anymore, they were pushing forward. The Empire's fleet tried to block them, but from the far edge of the system, more help arrived. It was the Mars Outpost, a forgotten human colony that had lived underground for years, quietly growing in secret. The ships joined the fight. In the core chamber, the countdown started. 30 seconds, Fireborn 4 shouted. Soren covered her with his last clip. He was hit in the leg but stayed on his feet. "Echo!" he yelled. "We need exit now!" Echo replied. "Blast doors unlocking. Exit route calculated. Run west." "Run?" Soren grinned. "Now you sound human." The device beeped. 10 seconds. The team grabbed their wounded and sprinted down the hallway. Alien gunfire rained behind them. One soldier was hit and stayed back to cover them, giving his life to slow the enemy. They reached the shuttle just as the device exploded. A flash of blue light filled the stars. Dagger 1 cracked in half. Fire bloomed from every vent. Systems died. Enemy drones shut down mid-air and fell to Earth. The Empire fleet went silent. Their command brain gone. In orbit, Earth's ships pushed forward. The Empire retreated. For the first time, they turned their backs and fled. Inside the shuttle, Soren collapsed into his seat, bleeding, exhausted, but smiling. "It worked," Fireborn 4 whispered. Soren looked at her. "No, it's working." Back on Earth, people danced in the streets, in bunkers, on rooftops, in cities and villages. They cried and laughed, not because the war was over, but because they finally believed it could be won. In space, the President sent a message to the galaxy. "To all those who serve the Empire in fear, Earth stands free, and we are not alone. Join us, or stand in our way." Far across the stars, Rebel worlds heard it, and hope began to grow. But in the shadows of the galaxy, the Empire was not done. Commander Veyron stood before his Emperor. "This planet," Veyron said with rage, "has humiliated us." The Emperor spoke for the first time in decades, his voice cold and deep. "Then we shall burn it ourselves." The stars were quiet, too quiet. For the first time in weeks, no fire lit the skies, no ships clashed above Earth, no alien drones stalked city streets. Humanity stood on the edge of victory, bloodied, bruised but breathing. But in the deepest shadows of space, far beyond Earth's moon, something stirred. A shape, a giant, the Emperor's ship. So massive, it blocked light from entire sectors. It did not glide like the others. It crawled like an ancient god, dark black with gold veins of power. Its engines left behind trails of violet fire, and inside the Emperor sat on his throne of bone and steel, eyes closed, hands folded, silent. Then he opened them. The Empire had lost its commanders, lost its war brain, lost its grip, and the Emperor would not accept failure. "This world," he said, his voice deeper than gravity, "was supposed to fall. Now it shall kneel before flame." The ship turned toward Earth. A weapon at its center, the Star Harvester, began to charge. It had only one purpose: to rip a planet apart atom by atom, using its own sun as fuel. Earth had ours. Back on the planet, President Ward stood beside Project Echo in the command room. Alarms rang, satellites blinked. The AI's voice was calm but urgent. "Anomaly detected, Class Omega. Incoming ship exceeds all known scale limits. Threat level, total extinction." General Hayes cursed. "It's the Emperor. He's coming himself." Echo added, "The Star Harvester will be ready in 6 hours. Earth will not survive." Ward took a deep breath. "Then we hit them first." Echo hesitated. "Our weapons will not penetrate its armor." But someone else had an idea. Soren Vega. Still healing, still limping, he walked into the war room with Fireborn 4 beside him. "You said the ship is pulling power from the sun, right?" he asked. Echo answered. "Correct." Soren nodded. "Then we take the sun away from him." The room went silent. He explained, "Years ago, the Titan colony started building a solar disruptor, something to block solar flares during research. We never finished it." Fireborn 4 stepped forward. "We finish it now and turn it into a solar bomb." President Ward nodded slowly. "A star weapon. That's madness." Soren smiled. "No, that's humanity." The mission was set. 3 ships would launch toward the sun: Soren's team, Titan engineers, and Echo's mobile AI unit. Their goal: plant the device close to the solar corona, activate the disruption field, and unleash a wave of plasma so massive it would blind, burn, and break the Emperor's ship. They called it Project Phoenix. Time 5 hours and 41 minutes. As the fleet launched, Earth held its breath. People watched from rooftops, oceans, tunnels. The Guardian stood frozen, head turned, and to the sky like a silent soldier. Soren flew the lead ship, his hands firm on the controls. "Let's make this count," he whispered. Inside the Emperor's ship, Veyron knelt before his ruler. "Earth sends another team," he said. "They're desperate." The Emperor's reply was simple. "Let them come. I want them to witness the moment their sun turns against them." Back near the star, the ships arrived. Heat blazed through every shield. The plasma burned brighter than anything ever seen. Even Titan tech struggled to hold the lines. The team anchored the device. 10 minutes to overload," Echo announced. Suddenly, warning lights, alien ships uncloaked, smaller, sleeker, the Emperor's personal guards. "They found us," someone shouted. Battle erupted, missiles streaked, shields cracked. Fireborn 4 was hit. Her ship spun toward the star. "Eject!" Soren cried. "I'll finish the charge," she replied. "It needs manual trigger. You go." "No." But it was too late. She locked herself into the device bay. Tears filled her eyes, but her hands didn't shake. "Goodbye, Soren." She activated the core. Her ship burned. But the sun answered. The star screamed. A wave of golden fire surged across space, not slow but faster than light, toward the Emperor. Too late to move, too proud to run, the star harvester shattered. The Emperor's ship cracked. The galaxy's most feared vessel turned into a falling star. On Earth, people watched as a new light appeared in the sky, a second sun, then a burst of color as the enemy vessel collapsed in silence. No noise. No explosion. Just light, and then darkness forever. Back in the command center, Echo whispered, "Threat removed. Humanity stands." President Ward covered her mouth. Eyes full, voice gone. Earth had won, but the cost was high. On Titan's screen, a name glowed. Fireborn 4 deceased. Soren stood alone in the hangar, staring at the stars. He didn't cry. He just whispered, "She saved the world." Across the galaxy, something changed. Worlds that once feared the Empire now rose up. Civilizations hidden in shadows stepped into the light. Messages poured in from every corner. "We saw your fight. We saw your courage. We are ready to stand." Earth became more than a planet. It became a symbol, a reminder that no matter how big the Empire, no matter how dark the threat, humanity responds with fire.